Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with more F1 2014 Co-op Career Mode with my friend Will, and today we're here in Malaysia for the second round of the season. And I have been reading your comments, guys. I saw a lot of people asking for live commentary, and there are a couple of reasons why we don't want to do live commentary at the moment, but we're not going to rule out. We might be able to do it in the future sometime, but just at the moment we don't feel it's right. But just, of course, guys, let me know of ways I can improve the series in the comment section down below. It's always really appreciated to see your support and everything, so thank you once again. But here we are in Malaysia, as I said, and this is the race that we really need to just get some decent points. Obviously, in Australia we had a decent race, but nothing too spectacular. But in here in Malaysia, we've got a good qualifying position. We're starting 7th, and we have a decent chance here of getting some really good points. And today we're going to be starting on the option tyres, the nicer tyres, not the orange sidewall tyres, which we're going to have to go on to later on in the race. But the medium compound tyres aren't too bad in this game, but I honestly find the super soft and soft just make the car so much nicer to drive. But the orange sidewall tyres just absolutely horrible to drive on, have absolutely no grip. But when you have a track with such high degradation like Malaysia, you need to run those tyres, otherwise you're not going to be getting to the end of the race. But there we are. What a crazy front row of the grid is that? Hamilton and Verne, like what? Me and Will were laughing so much when we saw that. And yeah, so there is Will's down in 13th place here. And really, we're just going to hope for a good race here. Get as many points as possible for Williams. Not exactly an amazing race in Australia, but not too bad. But anyway, 4 lights, 5 lights, and there we are. Lights out, and away we go here in Malaysia. Ricciardo gets a pretty decent start. We're going to try and get into the slipstream here of Sebastian Vettel, but we're looking behind, seeing where Will's at. He's forcing his way down the inside, but now we're going to try and make our way down the inside of a couple of cars here. And yeah, the gap's just opening up. Verne going very slowly on the outside. Now just the 2 Mercedes. Rosberg drifts out wide. We're going to be able to get down the inside of Hamilton, around the outside of Rosberg. Are we going to manage to get the lead? No, we're not. We're going to get into the slipstream of Lewis Hamilton here, and we could try and slingshot our way into the lead here, looking where Rosberg is. Not really challenging us, but we got the slingshot round Lewis Hamilton into the lead of the race after only a couple of corners. A really great start there. The AI not putting up too much of a fight, and it's just good to see us into the lead of the race here. And then round this first lap, we started to realise something. I was in first place, but Will was also saying he was in first place, so on both our screens we were both in first place. And then it became ultra confusing about what was actually happening here. There was just actually a massive amount of lag, which meant that I wasn't seeing him on my screen, but he was seeing me on his screen. So basically we're going around, he's actually in front of me here. He's managed to make up a massive amount of time in these first couple of corners here, and somehow he's managed to jump his way from what, 17th? No, it wasn't 17th, it was 14th, wasn't it, on the grid, all the way up to the lead of the race in the first lap. And yeah, so he'll be appearing on my screen at some point, but it just takes a couple of laps for somehow the lag to sort out itself, which is a bit annoying. It also disconnected at the end of qualifying as well, so there's just lag all over the place. We're not really too sure why. Both our internet speeds aren't that bad, so you wouldn't have thought there'd be that much lag, but I don't know, guess that's how it is. Now Rosberg is right up behind us here. As you look into the inside, yes he is, but he brakes a little bit earlier. We managed to get into the, or we managed to stay in the lead of the race here. And then heading on to lap number 4, this is where the lag suddenly sort of stops, and we managed to see each other on our screens for once. Any second now, there we are. You can see Will just out of nowhere. Will suddenly on our screen, and yeah, we're down to second place. We've got Vettel right behind us here, but we've actually had a really good lap here, lap number 4. We're actually going to go and set the fastest lap of the race there, 1:43.103, so not too bad of a lap time there, nothing special, but it's still not too bad whatsoever considering we've got all this pressure of Vettel, Rosberg and all these cars behind. But then Magnussen, out of nowhere, Magnussen goes and gets the fastest lap of the race with a 42.337, so a great lap there from Magnussen, nearly a second faster than me. So there we are, that's lap number 4, but we'll skip ahead to lap number 6 here, because this is where I'm going to come into the pits for the first time, or the only time I should say. You can see my tyres are very orange. We've sort of caught up to Will a little bit here. He hasn't had the best couple of laps ever since we sort of started to see each other on our screen, lap number 4. I seem to have just been clawing him in a little bit. I think there's like that bit of incentive. Once you see the car in front of you, there's that incentive to go and catch him up. And that's exactly what happened for me. So I was just clawing him down every single lap. I was just getting 10th after 10th after 10th. And I was just getting the positions here. Or getting the time, I should say, not the positions. And here we are. It's going to be our pit lap here. We're not going to do anything silly. We're just going to go into the pits when we're told to. Slightly deep into the turn, but we managed to get it turned in and somehow avoid the grass. But a little bit of grass there on the exit of the pit lane. Putting it into lean fuel mixture, obviously, we want to make sure that we save as much fuel as possible here so we can run fast fuel mixture towards the end of the race. But now, let's see what happens here. We've got a couple of cars coming in behind us in the pit, so just hopefully we don't get held up through them coming out and maybe blocking us or something. But doesn't look like any cars after us, so that should be good for us. But here we are, the Williams mechanics, going to be fitting those hard tyres there. It's going to be a decent stop. It's a 3.7. Not exactly anything special there in terms of the lap time, but it's still pretty decent there from the Williams guys. And we came out behind two cars here. I think it's Maldonado and Bianchi in the Mercer. I'm not too sure. Definitely a Mercer, not too sure which one it is though. But we do manage to get out in head of Vettel and the rest of them, so that's good. And now it's just about getting past Maldonado and whatever the Mercer, whoever's in that Mercer, getting past them as quickly as possible to make sure we can just make sure we don't lose any time on Will here. But through Sector 1, obviously, we're slow. But Maldonado right in front of us. Hopefully, we should get past him as quickly as possible. He has got the better tyres on, but obviously, they'll be extremely worn after doing 7 or 6.5 laps, really, on these tyres. He's a lot slower, so we sort of forced him out the way there. He was doing so slowly. And it's Max Chilton, who's somehow ahead of Maldonado. Not too sure what the logic in that is, but maybe Maldonado's gone for a spin or something. So into 8th place once again, even after or even before everyone else has pitted, I should say, we've somehow already got ourselves into the points, which is good. And now it's just about making sure that we bring this car home and possibly fight for the win. Where are we going to get past Chilton? It's going to be soon. We're just going to dive it up the inside there. Not really worrying too much about what Chilton does. If it pushes him offline or whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. He's not fighting for this result. But now we've got Gutierrez in front of us, who I think will be pitting at the end of this lap. So there should be no trouble when getting past him. But it's that corner. It's that corner. Always in Malaysia, I just can't get around that part of the track. I seem to slide out wide, and it's just so frustrating because I can't get that part of the track done well. But that's just racing, isn't it? You don't get every corner perfect. But yeah, Gutierrez coming to the pits in front of us, as is everyone else. So a slight mistake through the final turn there, slightly missing the turning point. And now let's just see, can we beat Will out of the pit lane? Will we manage to get the lead, or will we have to be sitting there in second place? There's Will coming out the pit lane. You can see him there. I think that's Magnussen as well, who's done quite a good job. Jumped quite a few cars. Rosberg, Vettel, and the lot. He's jumped them all, so that's good for him. Now we've got Will right in our track here, and hopefully we can get past him as quickly as possible. But you know, it's Formula 1, and things happen, and things have happened with Will. He's sort of been a bit all over the place on these harder tyres, and he's sort of sliding a bit all over the place, and he's not really sticking to the racing line. And here I think, yeah, he goes in a little bit too deep and gets sideways on the exit, and also I get sideways, but we're going to get the DRS. Here we are, we're going to get into the slipstream as well. Will's going defensive on the inside. He's sort of putting his car in the middle of the track, and I was sort of expecting him to go defensive, which he did. Will breaks extremely late into the final turn, and he gets a little bit sideways there. Will spin all over the place, but we get DRS once again, and we're going to manage to get the position, and we go across the line, and we do manage to get the lead before the start-finish line. 600ths of a second, or less than 600ths of a second, as we go down to turn 1. He's going to be looking for the overtake once again, because he'll have those fresher tyres. They might be a little bit colder, but they'll definitely be fresher at the end of the race, so we can be mounting a challenge. But now Will right up behind me here. I've got a slightly bad run through the corner there, slightly sideways. I'm just going to go defensive on the inside line here. We can't be giving him any chance to dive up the inside, so we're just going to go ultra defensive, nearly down the white line on the inside there. But Will's looking down the outside. He's braked extremely late, but we managed to block off the corner there. He's going to look to get on the outside here, but it's not going to really work out. We managed to get the position without any overlap or anything, so we've got the position, we're leading the race, and thankfully we just had such a good outlap there, and we managed to catch up Will, and he makes a slight mistake there, which puts him in Magnussen's wheel tracks and Rosberg's wheel tracks, I should say. But here we are, final lap of the race. We managed to pull out a decent gap here, basically just putting those consistent lap times in and making sure we can get this result at the end of the day. We're just going to put it into the rich fuel mixture for this last part of the lap here, just to try and get that lap time and make sure we don't do anything silly in this final turn, because there is gravel there. You can go and run into the gravel if you do something silly, so let's just try and not do that now around the final turn. And we're going to manage to win the Malaysian Grand Prix. You can see Will's got a massive queue behind him, but we're going to win the Malaysian Grand Prix and maybe take the lead of the championship. Will be crossing the line any second now, and there we are, he's finished, and he's 5.419 seconds behind with Magnussen, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Vettel, Raikkonen, Alonso, Rosberg, and Hulkenberg. Your top 10. Rosberg dropped through the pack quite a bit there. He was sort of the back of that first pack there, and unfortunately for him, that's how he finished. But look at that for Jean-Eric Vergne, from starting on the front row of the grid, P2, to finishing 13th with a very slow lap time there. and unfortunately for Vern there, but I don't know how he was even P2 in qualifying. Strange things happening in this game, and that's what's happened. But Magnussen goes and gets a podium as well, but me and Will, not exactly the fastest times there. You can see we didn't actually have the best lap times, so I think the pace and everything is pretty good, but the first lap of the AI is still just not there, is it? The AI just so slow on that first lap. So there we are, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. That was a pretty interesting race for me. A little bit of lag, a little bit of everything, and somehow one of the weirdest podiums you might have seen on this game so far. 2 Williams and a McLaren of Magnussen is slightly weird. You normally see a Mercedes or a Red Bull or a Ferrari on there, but there we are, that's good stuff. And now let's go and have a look at the drivers and constructors standings. So here we are, these are the drivers and constructor standings. You can see there I'm leading, which is good, and hopefully we can maintain that for the future. And obviously Will is in second place in the championship as well now, so that is really good. And yeah, so I'm just looking forward to more of this, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. As always, just let me know what I can improve on this series and what I can do just to make it overall more fun for you guys to watch. And yeah, that's pretty much it, leading the constructors as well, which is good. And yeah, until next time, it's AlexZAfRo out here. Goodbye.